Good morning, Magic Players and card collectors of all kinds. Welcome back to the channel. Wow, that took a lot more out of me than I thought I was going to. I don't know why, but my chest is absolutely killing me today. Woke up with a bit of a chest ache, but it got significantly worse from doing the work today. Going back after a holiday, of course, was a bit of a longer shift, which was to be expected, but it was kind of funny because we got in there and they called numbers, and the numbers were like crazy low, and we were like, what the hell? It's going to be like a 2-hour day, 3-hour day tops. And then it definitely was not. I think they forgot about all the trailers that were there on the weekend and didn't count them in their numbers. That's my personal opinion. So I think the amount was significantly higher than what they originally anticipated. But, and they also didn't have plain numbers either at the time. So, like, the numbers they called out were just ridiculously low for what we got. I actually had to leave a little bit early because my chest just started to be too much for me. I have a tendency to overdo it. And today I think I did like 3 trailers with my partner. Trailers I did with partner, don't worry. But I also did like 9, maybe 10 cans on my own, which, yeah, I probably should have split some of those. But she be what she be. I was hoping to film this at home, but unfortunately, my dad is still there. I thought he was going out today, he said, but he apparently has not left yet. So if he is going out, he will probably be out by the time I get back from doing this film and picking up the Coke here at the Shoppers. But, yeah. Hey, it's time for Diorama Draws of Destiny! So I got 3 packs for you right now, and if we're lucky, you might get double the Destiny later on with some packs with Kaiba. But I want to film this just in case, because I like to put this episode out every week consistently on Tuesday. I think it's like the one series that I don't think I've ever actually missed a Tuesday yet since we started making it a Tuesday thing. Maybe once or twice, but not very often. Versus many of my other series, which have been bumped here or there. Dollarama Draws of Destiny is something you can rely on. And we're going to start with an Amphibious Kavu. Just over the mark for the old school. It's a 93 to 2001. 2 and a green for a 2/2. Whenever this thing blocks or becomes blocked by 1 or more blue and or black creatures, this thing gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Interesting. It looks like it should be a merfolk, but it's not. Merfolk raided the shores untroubled for years until the shores started fighting back. Interesting. I like the artwork on it too. Isperia's Skywatch. 5 and a blue for a 3/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, detain target creature an opponent controls. Until your next turn, that creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Interesting. A little expensive though, so probably not something I'd play. Ooh, Dragon Egg. That kind of looks neat. 2 and a red for a 0/2 Dragon Egg. Defender. When this thing dies, create a 2/2 red dragon token with flying and pay red. This thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Neat. Like the artwork. And the flavor text. Dragon birth layers are littered with treasure to entice the young from their eggs. Definitely like that flavor text. Soul's Might. This is a solid one. 4 and a green. It's a little expensive, but you get to put X +1/+1 counters on target creature where X is that creature's power. So you get to basically double something's power, which is pretty badass. Swiftwater Cliffs. Enters tapped but gives you a life, so I'm not knocking that. Twice Upon a Time. This is actually a really cool card, except for the fact that I just don't have any doctors to play it with. And this is the second time I've pulled this card. 4 and 2 blue. Search your library for a doctor card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And on the other side, cast this spell only if you control 2 or more doctors, which is why I can't use this card. But it lets you take an extra turn after this one. And then you have to exile it. Which is a pretty cool freaking card. But like I say, I don't have doctors. I do not own any doctors, really. I think I have like 1. I would love to get a doctor's deck at some point, but that's just not going to happen anytime soon. So you're actually going to the back where you're... Even though you're probably the best hit in this pack, you're just not something I can play. Hands of Binding. 1 in a blue. Tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and then you cipher this. Interesting. That's kind of neat. I do like Cypher. So you basically copy the spell onto a creature, and when the creature dies, you get to replay the spell, essentially, without having to pay the mana cost, which is kind of nice. Fortress Cyclops, 3 and a red and a white. For 3/3, whenever this thing attacks, it gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Whenever this thing blocks, it gets +0/+3 until end of turn. So if you give this thing Vigilance, it actually becomes a pretty badass creature. Rakdos Headliner. Ooh, I like the art on that one. A black and a red. For 3/3, with haste and echo, you have to discard a card at the beginning of your next upkeep, otherwise you have to sacrifice this guy. Caution, audience in front row may have throats ripped out. I kind of like that a lot, actually. That might end up in my sacrifice deck, possibly. Aven Eternal, 2 and a blue for 2/2 flying when it enters battlefield, a mass 1. Ooh. It's a zombie bird warrior. Neat. That might make it into my zombie deck. That's kind of cool. I don't know what I'd pull from it, to be honest, at this point. My zombie deck is so well refined that I really don't know what I would want to take out of it to put that in, but that's kind of a neat card. And another way to get a mass on the field. Contingency Plan. 1 and a blue. With the top 5 cards of your library, put any number of them into your graveyard, and the rest back on top of your library in any order. Interesting. I think that's a pretty decent sorcery. Something I could definitely see playing. Watcher of the Roost. 2 and a white for a 2/1. Ew. Flying, but it has morph. Ooh, that's interesting. Reveal white card in your hand. You may cast this thing face down as a 2/2 for 3, and then you reveal a white card in your hand, and you get to flip it face up. Whenever this thing is turned face up, you gain 2 life. It's not terrible. Goblin Rough Rider, 2 and a red for a 3/2 Goblin Knight. Astride the bucking creature, Gribble hurtled down the mountainside, while his Grotag brethren cheered. It was at that moment that the legend of the Skirrill Tamer was born. Invasive Species, 2 and a green, 3/3. Whenever this thing enters the battlefield, return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. Okay. And a Thriving Heath. Not bad, not bad. So far, I think the card of the day to beat... I mean, if I actually had Doctors to play with, it would definitely be that. I'm not saying that's not a good card. I'm just saying I can't use it. So for me, card of the day currently is probably the Contingency Plan, actually. I do like the Davil, don't get me wrong, but that Contingency Plan is a pretty solid card to get through your deck if you're like land screwed or something like that. Doesn't cost much to play it. And you can definitely set up your next 2 or 3 turns ahead of time. Or if you know you're going to draw multiple cards in a turn, then you're even better off because you can set up what you're going to draw all in one turn. Yeah, I really like that card. That is a solid sorcery for 2. Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. Pirate's Prize! 3 and a blue, draw 2 cards, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana to your mana pool. Nothing warms the heart like plunder. I mean, that's a pretty solid card for 4. Goblin Bang Chuckers. 2 and 2 red for a 2/2. Tap, flip a coin. If you win the flip, this thing deals 2 damage to target creature or player. If you lose the flip, this thing deals 2 damage to itself. Well, that's not so good. Unless you can buff it. Riot Ringleader. 2 and a red. Whenever this thing attacks, human creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Ooh, we got a second Pirate's Prize. Tranquil Cove. Enters tapped, gives you life. Crossroads Candle Guide. I don't care much for this Scarecrow, to be honest. I mean, it's neat that you get exile something from a graveyard when this comes into play, and it does have decent stat line. And it's really cute. But paying 2 to get 1 mana of any color kind of sucks. Although you can do that multiple times in a turn, but I'm just saying that really kind of sucks. Battlefield Forge, Painland. colorless, or you can get red or white, but you take a damage. Roomclaw Bear, 1 and a green for a 2/2 bear. The magic of the elves leaves its mark on the forest. The magic of the forest leaves its mark on the animals who live there. The animals of the forest leave their mark on all who trespass. Fair enough. Wizen Sen. Kithkin Cleric. Ooh, that's the first Kithkin I've pulled in a long time. I might have pulled... Actually, I think I pulled a couple Kithkins in the newer Lauren pack that I opened recently, but I don't actually play Kithkins, and so that's not a huge hit for me, other than the fact that it's a cleric. But I like it still. And yeah, I mean, the art is really cool. Flavor is nice on it too. Thought Weft binds us as one part of an intricate pattern that would unravel if even one thread came loose. Rakdos Cackler, black or red for a 1/1 with Unleash. So it can come in with a +1/+1 counter on it and be a 2/2, but it can't block if it has a +1/+1 counter on it. So, still pretty cool. Not old school though, 2012, but I like the artwork on that one. Devil Blades and Dripping Blood make music Rakdos never tires of hearing. Enoch Survivalist, 1 and a green. Has Megamorph, so I can pay 1 and a green to do that. You have to pay 3 to put it face down, though. But when you turn it face up, you can put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if it's turned face up, it destroys an artifact or enchantment opponent controls. Not bad. All around, not bad. Searing Spear, 1 and a red. 3 damage to a creature or player. Not bad. Ambush Crotic. 5 and a green for 5/5 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, return another creature you control to his owner's hand. Diplomacy of the Waste, 2 and a black. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. If you control a warrior, that player also loses 2 life. That's a pretty stacked sorcery for 2 and a black. And a Traveling Minister, 1 for a 1 white for a 1/1. Tap, target creature gets +1/+0 until end turn, you gain a life. It's not a horrendously bad card. But we're still not really hitting anything major yet. No legendaries so far either. If I remember correctly, our legendary count reset last time, so we need to pull something cool this time, or we're going to be in some trouble. Accumulated Knowledge. 1 and a blue, draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Accumulated Knowledge in all graveyards. I mean, that's neat if other people are playing that, or if it was a 60 card format. We pulled this the other day. I mean, it's okay. 2/3, and it has Persist, which is awesome. The stats, it's a little expensive to put into play, but it does have the ability that you can basically put cards back onto the bottom of their own, from a graveyard on the bottom of the owner's library just by killing this thing. So it's not horrendous. Another Kithkin. 4 and a white for 2/3 flying. Pay 1 and a white, sacrifice this thing, destroy target enchantment, and it has Persist. Okay. Gurmag Drowner. Naga Wizard, 3 and a blue, exploit. When this thing exploits a creature, look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest of them into your graveyard. Ooh, into your graveyard. Damn. 2/4. Okay. Disfigure, target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn for 1. That's pretty solid. There's the runaway together that Smith Stack keeps talking about how he doesn't care for the art on, but I don't mind that flavor. I think it's kind of neat. 1 a blue, 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Those cards go back to their hands. Virtue is virtue, whatever the heart that nurtures it. Ooh, we got a Scatter Groves. Forest Plains, enters the battlefield tapped, cycling 2. Pretty good, pretty good. Hey Snoop, it's another land that you can search. Fiery Hellhound, 1 and 2 red for 2/2. Pay a red, and this thing gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Ah, we did it again. This is the 3rd time we've pulled this card, and it's not going to count as a legendary creature, unfortunately, because it's a vehicle. Don't think vehicles were allowed. I know they changed the rule recently. I'm trying to remember. Did they make vehicles legendaries? I think they might have actually. If they did, then this actually counts as a legendary creature, and we pulled legendary creatures last time too. I'm gonna have to double check that rule. I can't remember how it went. Trample 5/5 for 3 and a black. As long as it's your turn and you control an army, this thing is technically a creature. And it has crew 3 otherwise, so pretty solid all around. Suspension field, 1 and a white, enters the battlefield. You can exile a creature with toughness 3 or greater until this thing leaves the battlefield. I don't normally like cards that are like this, but it does hit something with toughness 3 or greater, which is probably going to mean that you're taking out something important. Coraline Slinger, 1 and a white for a 0/1. Tap this thing and target creature with power 3 or less gets also tapped. Take up arms, 4 and a white, put 3 1/1 white creature tokens onto the battlefield. Probably not going to use that. Ooh, I was looking at this the other day. This is actually a really solid card for landfall decks. 2 for a 1/1. Tap this thing, you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. It's pretty damn good. Nimbleblade Kenra does have prowess. It's a 1/3 for 1 and a red. I mean, it's a decent card all around, I would say. And Starforged Sword, which is kind of a meh card, to be honest. If you give the gift tapped fish, sure, that's not the end of the world. You can attach it to a target creature you control right away instead of paying the 3. Otherwise, you have to pay 7 to use this thing. And it just gives a creature +3/+3, and that creature loses flying, which is the worst thing to possibly do to a creature, in my opinion. So, all right. Well, we'd opened 3 packs of Destiny. We got some neat hits. Nothing crazy this week. I think the Rakdos headliner might actually be my favorite in terms of art. That art is just funny. I like that art a lot. And, I mean, we got a really cool land, in my opinion. And I think Accumulated Wisdom is still probably... Or not Accumulated Wisdom, whatchamacallit? Where are you? Although the Pirate's Prize is pretty good, too. Draw 2 cards and get a treasure token for 4. That's pretty good. But I was going to say the... Where did it go now? Contingency Plan, I think, is probably my favorite pull of the day, because that is just solid value all around. Anyways, if I do not get to do a double episode of Draws of Destiny, much love to you all from Kaiba home and myself in the car. To you, thank you for watching, and love you all. Have a great day. Bye. Welcome, humans, to part 2 of Eternal Webbers, Dwarves of Destiny. Daddy's going to be my hands, but I'm going to be the one who tells you about all the cards and stuff, because I'm awesome. And I picked out better packs than Daddy, because I'm awesome. Look at my awesome smushy fish. Isn't it so awesome? So yeah, I have 3 packs, just like Daddy did. And my 3 packs are going to be better than Daddy's packs, because I'm the pug, and I pick good packs. And then Daddy's going to give me lots of snuggles, because I picked out the good packs, and I did a good job. Just like these. These are good snuggles. I like these bug snuggles. What's up, buddy? Daddy's wearing his heat pad. He's making me nervous because he keeps beeping. See the controller over there? He keeps beeping at me. And I'm like, why is it beeping, Daddy? And I don't like it. But Daddy says he needs it for his shoulder because he's not feeling super good. And his chest. So yeah. Anywho, I'm going to start doing the Dials of Destiny now. Good job, Daddy. That was a good whip. That one sounded good. Let me sniff these cards. I sniffed the cards. The cards sniff good. Now I got my marrow. I'm gonna snack on that while you guys do this. Okay? Okay. Yes, put the cards there so I can see them. Good job, Daddy. Okay. So, first off, there's a Driver of the Dead. It's a vampire. And when he dies, you return a creature card with convert mana cost 2 of this from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's pretty good. Costs 4, but still, it's pretty good. This Marrowbone is also pretty good. Next up, there's an Adaptive Skimmer. He costs 5. He's a 0/0, but he enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters on him. So he kind of sucks. I don't like that one. I also don't like bugs. Then we got the Black Cat. Daddy likes this one a lot. Daddy says it's a very, very good card because if it dies, then a person has to discard a card at random. And then if you can find a way to keep bringing it back over and over again, that makes it pretty powerful. Then there's a Grave Purge. It's 2 in a black. You put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your Yaiba and you get to draw a card. That's pretty good at instant speed. And the artwork is pretty cool too. My Marrowbone is also pretty cool. Bitter Reunion, 1 and a red. When you sink into the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, get to draw 2. And then you have to pay 1 to sacrifice it, and creatures you control get haste until their turn. That one's kind of iffy. I mean, you get some card draw out of it, which is pretty good. And it doesn't cost very much for that. But the second part really doesn't seem super important. At least not to me. Maybe you guys might get more. Gold Mod Champion, 2 in a white for Dwarf Warrior. He's 2 and a 3, and he has a boast. You pay 1 in a white, and you get to tap target creature if this guy attacks. Interesting. But you can only do it once per turn. Then there's a Vile Redeemer, 2 and a green for 3/3. When you cast this spell, you can be colorless. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion token for each non-token creature that died on your control this turn. Those tokens have sacrifice this and add colorless. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Send a Sheep, 1 in a blue. Tap target 2 target creatures, potentially. And if there are 2 or more instants or sorceries in your graveyard, those creatures don't get to untap next turn. Sucks to be Nymph. Titanic Growth. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Daddy has a yard copies of that one. It's okay, but he doesn't probably need any more. Dragon Wage. 2 in a red. Add red to your mana pool for each attacking creature you control. And then until end of turn, attacking creatures also get pay red and it gets +1/+0 until end of turn. That's pretty cool. It says it's a dragon card, but you don't actually have to have it in dragons. That one's pretty good. I like that one. Gather the Townsfolk. 1 in a white, put 2 1/1 white human creature tokens into play. On the battlefield. And then if you have 5 or less life, you can put 5 of those human tokens onto the battlefield instead. I search for more food. My belly hungers. There are tweets over there. Do I dare? I dare. And you dare to read more cards. Maritime Guard. 1 in a blue for a Merfolk Soldier. There's a 1/3, but he doesn't do anything. Except guard stuff. And look pretty badass while he does it. And then there's the Cachet Riders. There's 3 and 2 blue for another Merfolk. They're a rogue this time. They're 4/1 at the beginning of upkeep. Return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. I suppose that's a good way to get stuff on and off the field if you want. I'm going to jump all over these cards. You got yucky this time. Next time, I will jump all over the cards. Warfare. 2 a red and a white. Creatures who control get pissed 2, place 1 into the turn, and then you get to untap them. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Ooh, we get a legendary! Ignis Scientia. It's a human advisor. It's a 1, a green, and a blue for 2/2. When you enter, you look at the top 6 cards of your Yaiba. You can put a Yan from among them onto the battlefield tapped. So score on the bottom of your Yaiba in a random order. And then you can pay 1 and a green and a blue to tap this guy and exile target card from a graveyard. If a creature gets exiled, you get to make a food. He's interesting. And I got a good legendary daddy, not like those silly little vehicles you keep pulling. So, that's right. I stick my tongue out at you. Rip the second pack, daddy. You ripped it upside down. You're so silly. Are you guys looking at me? I don't think you are. Yeah, now you're looking at me. Daddy rotates the cards. It makes a funny sound. Okay. Next up. Another stack of cards for Daddy to hold up and say stuff about. Well, I am just cute. It is a pure from reality. When in a blue, return target creature card you control and target creature you don't control to the owner's hands. That's a pretty good one. It's instant speed too, right? Yeah. Should put the legendaries in a separate pile over there. I'm gonna get a bunch of them, I think, because I'm cool. Cool as Kaiba. Daddy pulled this one earlier, so I'm not gonna talk about that one right now. We get a Monsterfy. 3 and a green. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn, and then you can pay this card from your graveyard by discarding a Yan and then paying the other costs. So it's like flashback, except you have to discard a Yan every time. But still, that's not bad. Except your sorcery speed, actually. Sorcery speed is bad. I get it was instant at first, but it's not instant. Keeper of the Yins. It's a golem. It's a 1/2, and you can look at face down creatures you don't control. That's pretty good. Mind Worker. 2 for a 2/1. You can tap it to gain a life, and if you control a creature named Power Plant Worker and Tower Worker, you get 3 life instead. Coordinated Clobbering. 1 green. Tap 1 or 2 target untapped creatures you control. They each deal damage equal to the power to target creature and opponent controls. Sorcery speed, but still it's a cheap one, so that's actually pretty good. We get a Nesting Grounds. Taps for color, yes. And you can pay 1 to tap this and move a counter from a permanent you controlled onto another permanent. Haha, Daddy, I got another land that's better than your lands too. See? I'm just better. I'm better at this, Daddy. I also got a giant spider. You didn't have this before in your collection, so now you can add another spider to your spider deck. Isn't that awesome? I think that's awesome, Daddy. Okay, this guy we've pulled a few times, but he is a pretty cool card. If you can pay the 4 every time to level him up. Ha! I pulled the same legendary that Daddy pulled, plus a different legendary, because I'm awesome. I'm going to put Daddy's legendary behind the one that I pulled. First. Suspension Field. We saw that one before too. I get a Gimini counter of kills. 3 and a red 4/3 trample. Whenever another creature opponent controls dies, he gets to deal 1 damage to that creature's controller. This is a really good one, and Daddy didn't have this art treatment before, and I think that's going to be the card of the day. Because I just kick butt like that. Take up arms, 4 in a white. You get 3 human warriors. You get another one of those land guys that Daddy pulled earlier, that Daddy was all excited about. So I'm still kicking Daddy's butt. Look at me go. And I got haste magic. One in a word. Creature gets plus C+1. He gets haste into it. Then you can exile the top card of your library and you can pay it into your next end step. That's pretty good. Double the fun. Double time. One more pack. Oh. Daddy's trying to find a way to balance the camera so that you guys can see me. But he rips the last pack open. There you go, Daddy. You looked it from the top this time. Good job. Although, whipping it from the bottom seems to have given you lots of better luck. Well, rather, it gave me lots of better luck, because I am picking the better cards. You should give me a belly rub for luck. Belly rub for luck. Daddy! Daddy's got just the heat pad. Alright, rub the puggy for luck. Last pack. Yes, baby. Try not to step on the cards, please. I picked out the cards so I can step on them if I want to. You know why? Because I'm Kaiba. Yeah, I say, screw the rules. I am Puggy. What are you trying to do, Kaiba? What are you trying to do? Aw, I get kiss kiss. Are you trying to crawl into my lap? It's kind of hard to do that while I'm doing the card stuff. Okay, I'll find a way. Give me a second. Organize this a little bit better. You want your spot? Is that what you want? Yeah. There you go. Feel better? Bless you. Aw, you're adorable. Yes, you are. Yes, you're adorable. Are you ready to do the last pack now? I suppose. But I'm still the awesomest, so you should make sure that you see me first, and then your cards. So there's an Urborg Skeleton. He has a kicker of 3. He's a 0-1 for 1 black. And he has a regenerate of 1 black. If you pay the kicker, he gets to come into a play with a +1/+1 counter on him. The +1/+1 counter kind of costs a lot for just one of them. But it does make him an actual threat on the board because he becomes a 1-2, so we can actually smack somebody east at that point. And he can come back over and over and over again, so that makes him pretty good. Good start, Daddy. Good start. Yes, hold them over here so I can see them too. That's much better. Carp. I can't read that. Corpulent Corpse. 5 in a black for 3/3 zombie with fear. Fear is good. And he says spend 5 if you pay black. So if you pay black, he gets put away for 5 turns, and then he comes out and he kicks butt. He's not bad. Forgive the belly that Daddy's showing sometimes by accident in the video. Daddy had to take his shirt off in order to put the heat pad on himself properly. 1 in a green for an elf scout. That's a 2/2 with vigilance. That's pretty solid. Greenwood Sentinel. I don't know if I have many copies of that, but happy with that one. 1 in a red for an Eldrazi drone called Cosmic Sentinel. It's a 1/4 with Devoid. When you cast a Courier spell, he's +1/+0 until the end of the turn. So it's kind of like Prowess, except only for colorless spells, and you don't get the extra buff on the bomb. Minstrosity? Minstrosity, okay. When you react for a horror, it's a 3/1. That's pretty bad. When it dies, you get to make a food, which is okay, but I don't like a 3/1. 3/1 is not good. It was a hollow, too. That's 2 hollows in this pack. Yash of the Belrog. 1 black for... Is that 3 hollows? That's 3 hollows. 1 black for a sorcery where you have to either sacrifice a creature or pay 4 extra. And then you can destroy a creature. 3 hollows in 1 pack. That's a lot. Hey, we got another legendary. Nisa of Twacken. 3 in a blue for a human scientist. She's a 3/4. You have no maximum hand size when she's on the field. Whenever she attacks, you can sacrifice X artifacts. And if you sacrifice 1 or more artifacts this way, you get to tap X creatures. And you get to draw X cards. So she's extra awesome. But she's not a doctor, so you need to find a doctor again in order to play her in a doctor's deck. Springjaw Trap. 1 for Flash. Pay 4, tap this, sacrifice it, and then it deals 3 damage to any target. It's pretty expensive. I don't think I like that one so much. Ooh, another legendary. Armix Filgry Thrasher. 2 in a black for a 3/2 golem. Legendary artifact creature. Whenever this thing attacks you, you may discard a card. If you do, target creature defending player controls gets -6/-6 until the end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control, plus the number of artifact cards in your graveyard. And it has partner. That is pretty awesome. Daddy, I like that one a lot. That is another good legendary that I pulled today. Look at all the legendaries I'm pulling. You pulled no legendaries except for those little catapult things. 1 in 2 black. This thing deals 3 damage to target creature and you gain 3 life. Yeah, okay. It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Was it instant speed or sorcery speed? That was instant speed. It's a good one then. Next up. 2 white for blessing. Enchant creature, pay white, and the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So it does nothing when you put it into PA. But the more white you pay in a turn, the more buff it gets. It's kind of interesting. Vithian Stinger. I like this guy. He's a 2 and a red for a 0/1. But he taps to deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So if you can find a way to keep tapping and untapping him, you can ping people for stuff. And that's fun. Yoked Ox is a 0/4 for white, and it does nothing. The courage of those who work the land is born of long days of labor in the hot summer sun and the cold winter wind. It is the courage of the earth itself. Yes, earth. Very courageous. Yes, yes. Hey, we
we get an idyllic beachfront. There's another tap end, or another searchable end. So see, I gotta search the end too, just like Daddy did. I am just awesome. So very, very awesome. And my yes card of the day is a Pied with Fire. One wet deals 2 damage to any target, and if a Pied is dealt damage this way, you get to scry one. That's pretty good. Alright, humans. As we usually do, when Daddy and I compete, let us know in the comments whether you think I had the better cards, or whether you think Daddy had the better cards. Although, I think it was not much of a competition today. I had lots of Legendaries, and really good Legendaries, plus that one that Daddy got. So, I think I am the better one today. Anyways, much love, humans. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time. Okay.